see you today. And I'm especially excited. Thank you, Dr. Trissa, for being on the couch once again. The other Dr. T, we call her. And I am so excited because we have our special guest today. Thank you, Kawana Lewis. So you ladies may have noticed that we posted a video a few weeks ago. We were at this healing junction. Okay, so this is the mind behind that healing junction. Okay. And we wanted to have, we're so excited that she can join us on the couch today. Kawana Lewis is a certified trainer and fitness curator focused on empowering and informing clients to reach their fitness goals. And she does this through functional techniques and affirmations, which I love. If you follow her at the Trap Boot Camp, you'll know what I'm talking about. She blends high energy movements and balance to facilitate her sessions. She is the founder of Trap Boot Camp, woohoo, which shifts the stigma of the trap into a positive one that transforms, regenerates, and actively progresses each individual into their best self. Okay. All right, Kawana, we are so excited to have you on this. There was no one else who could talk about this topic, okay? She is affirmation queen. And today we're going to discuss about the weight-related biases about being fit, okay? Yes. They're a little shady when we're little thickums and we're trying to be fit. And then they're a little shady when we are trying to help other people be fit and we're not the stereotypical look. So, Kawana, thank you for joining on with us. And have you ever experienced any type of discrimination or bias when it comes to being a fit coach and not being stereotypical?
Oh my God, yes. I've received so many different biases. I think in the beginning, when I started as a trainer, I was overweight. You know what I mean? And I was an apprentice. I apprenticed under a master trainer for 2 years when I first started. And I was on my own weight journey. But my friends and my family, they were noticing the changes. And so I started helping them as well. But it was, to me, I felt uncomfortable because I wasn't to my goal yet. You know what I'm saying? And I there was still I didn't even realize that there was still so much I needed to learn about fitness. And what I did learn moving forward was that it's functional. You know what I mean? Like, we do want to be snatched and we want to be J-Lo, or we want to be, have the abs of Tiana Taylor and all of that stuff. But if that's not your genetic makeup, it's just not your genetic makeup. It's just not. It's just not. But that is not to say it is also, you have to be willing to challenge yourself to receive that body, because I took it that far. I took it that far because I wanted to see that body. And I went into fitness competitions, and I did my first competition and I had to lose an extreme amount of weight. Altogether, I lost 92 pounds.
Wow.
That's a person.
That's a whole person.
Yes.
I lost 92 pounds. I did my very first fitness competition in 2018, 2017 for my 40th birthday. And then moving the next year, I went and did another one, and I got 13th place on my first one. And second, 13 out of 13 on the first one, so that ain't good.
But you got there. There. Because most of us can't even envision getting there. Okay, the second one you got in what?
Second one, I got second place.
See, look at that.
But what I understood about it is, in the beginning, I know that I wasn't truthful. I cheated some days. And what I realized about fitness, period, and this competition is, what you bring to the stage is what you bring to the stage. What you bring, the discipline that you have, you bringing that to the stage. You're bringing the stick-to-itiveness to the stage, because you got up every day and you did those 2 workouts. You didn't eat that salt that last week. You didn't have that water. It's intense. It's very, very intense. And what you bring to the stage is who you bring to the stage. It's who you formulated over that time. It's who you decided you were going to be. And if that person on that stage is somebody that didn't discipline themselves and get the sleep they needed, it's going to show. It ain't nobody else but you. So I realized it, and I seen the body that I thought I wanted to see. But after I got to that, I ain't like it. My
Mm.
head was big. My body was not mature muscle. So it was like, I didn't like the look. I felt out of place, and everybody kept saying, "Girl, you lost weight." Like, but it wasn't like you lost weight. It was like, all right, like what's going
Yeah,
on?
like how we do.
What's going on with you, girl? And it
Right.
made me feel uncomfortable, and I never wanted to feel that. And I also thought that it was going to be. I thought everyone around me was going to change. I thought I was going to get more men. I thought I was going to get, because I
Mm-hmm.
was this. But I
Because that's
realized
what they
that
sell us.
that's what they sell you.
Mm-hmm.
But I realized that it was the transformation was within, because I
Mm.
lost a lot of layers during that time. And in those times, I realized I was molested. In those times, I
Mm.
realized, um, a lot of things that I was doing was for everybody else, wasn't for me.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And
How
so
did you get there? How did you go from focusing on your physical health to really dealing with these deep psychological wounds, so to speak? Like, how did you even realize that that was an
I
issue?
feel like that's what fitness does to you. When you can slow down and
Mhm.
breathe and get in tune with your body, you realize that a lot of the stuff that you're doing and the people that you're around and the things that you do, that is why you are what you are. And I
Mhm.
couldn't be around people during my competitions. I had to isolate myself because people don't realize how negative they are. Why are you doing that? Why are you gonna be skinny? Your head gonna be big. You gonna get bulky. You gonna be they tell you so many negative things. So my trainer was
Mhm.
like, you just can't be around people. You just can't. And I isolated myself. I was in the gym in the morning. I trained during the day. I trained my clients all day, and I went back to the gym at night. And I had 2 kids. I brought
Wow.
them with me to the gym.
So it's doable as a mom?
I was a single mom
Wow. So
on
how did
all
you
my
do that?
competitions.
Because a lot of our communities are expecting moms,
Yes.
thinking about being a mom, or current moms and are really trying to balance. Like, oftentimes you think priority for the kids, priority for the partner, priority. How do you get to that point where you start to prioritize your health? Like, what was that transition for, like, for you?
As I said, as I started to transform exteriorly, my
Mm-hmm.
interior started to change. I was breathing more. I was starting to understand why my hips moved and where I was holding my tension and like a lot of my stuff. And so with
Oh.
kids, I literally I wrote a book that I haven't put out yet, but in the book I had to apologize to my kids because I had to be super selfish. I had to, because if I wasn't good, how could they be good? How could anybody around me? How could I train
Mm,
people and them be good if I'm not good? So
right.
I had to be good for me. And I had to
Mm-hmm.
be, nope, mommy can't come to that today. Mommy's going to the gym. Like I was very
Mm-hmm.
selfish. I really was, but I was focused and I knew that there was something on the other side that I didn't understand.
Mm.
I was an artist at the time too, a rapper, okay? Doing shows like
Listen.
crazy. Shows, training, mom,
Wow.
and I worked at 5 gyms. So if
Oh my
anybody tells
gosh.
me, when people tell me, oh, I can't, I'll be like, girl, you can. You can. Yes, you can.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to compare my life. I can't compare what I do to other people. They've never been through what I've been through, but you've been
Right.
through something that made you stronger. So you
Mm-hmm.
can, if you really, really want to, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what it was. I had to understand that, like, if I'm not feeling good about myself, how can I tell my daughter to be a queen? How can I teach my son how to be a man? Like I taught my son how to play basketball. I lifted weights with my son. Okay. My son learned how to lift weights from me. Correct.
Love it.
Okay. And so when I think about that, I was like, I thought about, oh, it was, in the time I would always be down on myself. Like, I'm not a good mom. I'm not a good mom. But my
Mm-hmm.
son is coming home tonight. He's home from the Navy. He joined the Navy
Wow.
and my daughter is a painter and she's amazing. And so I was like, I did my thing. You know what I mean? It was
Yes, you
hard.
did.
It was
Mm-hmm.
hard. And all the while I thought I was supposed to be looking like a certain thing. That's why I did the fitness competition, because I thought I needed to look like a trainer to be a trainer. You know what I'm saying? I thought that's what it was. I thought it was about me getting the cute outfits. Like, if you see my attire when I first started, the guy I apprenticed, he was like, listen, attire is a very big part of this business. You cannot walk in here with a regular t-shirt and like t-shirts. Like, you gotta get some sets. He gave me money. He gave me some money and he
So
gave
the
me
visuals are really that important? Like visuals are important. Yeah. Yeah.
It's very important.
Does that need to change, or is that acceptable? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
I don't think it needs to change. How can I show you that I've transformed my life if I come to you broken, like toe up and sloppy? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna preach to you to be better about yourself, and I come in here like I don't care what my nails look like, my feet, and like, how is that? And I didn't get that until I started working with him, and then when I went to Equinox, it was very important. Because even it was more important at Equinox because we all had the same uniform.
Oh.
We all had a white t-shirt, but if you had on beat up tennis shoes, they wasn't messing with you. You working with CEOs and artists and music, people that are upper echelon areas. If they looking at you like, I'm not gonna tell people this is my trainer. My makeup was always done, my hair was done, and I got more fit because I felt like that's what I needed to present to the world.
I hear that. Something you said that I thought was really interesting, and I'll have Dr. Trissa also talk on this since you're a physical therapist. You mentioned it's about function. What do you mean by that?
So in most of the time when I get clients, the first thing they say is, "Oh, I want to get a bigger butt. I need some back."
Well, I have said that. I'm guilty.
Yeah. Mainly,
and let me explain myself. Mainly because I transformed into this platform and I did a lot of sitting during the pandemic and I lost my butt. So I am trying to get her back. I'm trying to find her. She is a goal. She is still a goal, and I'm working on it.
And she's achievable. She's an achievable goal. I think that with my clients, I train them in functional, meaning like functionally 65 and up. A lot of my clients are 30 and up, 40. I think the youngest client I have right now might be 27 at the youngest, but the majority of them are, CEOs, business owners, functional people moving into their late 40s and 50s and some 60s. So the goal is to be cute, but the goal is to be able to get up, sit down by yourself, walk, stand, kneel, push, pull. You know what I'm saying? Like if you fall, you can reach down because you have tricep strength. You have muscle, you know what I'm saying? You have muscle in your triceps to help you stay up. You have bone density, you know what I'm saying? Because you've been lifting weights, you've been doing weight-bearing exercises. It's not about us being sexy. It is, but it ain't. You know what I'm saying? Our bodies, and that's what I didn't know in the beginning. When I first started training, I thought it was 1, 2, make them sweat. But when I went to Equinox, I learned the medicine behind fitness. And I learned that that's something they don't teach us as Black and brown people. They don't teach us that. They teach us aesthetics. They teach us looks, chisel the shoulders, they don't know why you need good shoulders. You know what I'm saying? I was born with dislocated shoulders. I used to not be able to lift over my hand. I had surgery on this side. I couldn't lift over my head 5 pounds. But through fitness, now I'm kettlebell swinging 60 pounds, 30 pounds. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, this is achievable. This is stuff that, like, when I get 70, I want to be doing that.
Yes. I
want to be popping up my kettlebell, squatting, looking fresh face. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to go get a lot of work done. I've never got Botox, but I'm so not thinking about it. I'm thinking about it because I keep getting these little weird lines. That all my clients got some paper and they be like, "Oh, look what I did." I'm like, should I do that? You think I should do it too?
That's funny.
You messed up, but
that's I love that you say that, because I will definitely say one turnaround time for me when I realized, oh, girl, you better get back on your fitness regimen, is because I was in and talking about functional. I used to pride myself in being able to lift up my luggage into the overhead without help. Okay. And this one time I was struggling. I was like, girl, that is an
That's
alarm.
functional.
Yes. And
Traveling
so,
by yourself is functional. Being
yes.
if you are a mother, to be able to carry a dang on baby stroller and the baby and like
And
this,
the
like I trained
bag.
women that are, I had trained mothers that are in, in on their way to being pregnant, who want to become pregnant. So they have to know, like, we do functional stuff like get down on your knees, stand up with the baby. You'll have a sandbag in your hand, get on the floor, stand up, put the baby up, sit down. Like I'm literally teaching them like that, because this is your life moving forward. Functionally, you want to take care of your child. You want to play with your child. Your child actually is the beginning of your 7 functional movements. When you're down,
Ooh.
a child is on their arms and their stomach. That's a position called Sphinx that we do in training. That trains your thoracic spine, your extension, your spinal extension. So you're here, right? Then you put up onto all fours. A baby does that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? The baby's core is strong. They could do push-ups if you showed them. But
Mm-hmm.
us, we forget all of that. That's functional stuff. Getting up on one knee, getting back down on a knee. That's all things that babies can do. Babies can squat low as anything. That's the beginning of it all. So our bodies are functionally, we start off with a good package, and then you have accidents, you have sports, you have all of these things,
Lifestyle.
right? Lifestyle, sedentary lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
sitting, all of these things that change everything in that little space in time. And then moving forward into your 40s and up, now it's functional. You have to try to get the stuff that you had originally. So that's how I train. I don't like to train. I tell people, I'm going to change your entire life,
Mm-hmm.
but you're going to do the work. I'm just going to
Mm-hmm.
cheer you on, honestly. And I'm going to keep getting you in the right direction, because all we need is we do it already. You really don't need me. You just need somebody to show you how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And with me, I think sometimes it's been a disservice, because I may not charge what I should be charging, but the people that I help and the effects on their life, and like just seeing just them do normal things. I have a client I've been training for 10 years, and it's just like, it's rewarding for me to see his life change like this. You know what I'm saying? For him to finally accept it and say, you know what? This is an everyday thing. I'm going to do it for the rest of my life, and it makes me feel better. It's not a hard thing to do. It's
Mm-hmm.
functional now. It's a part of
Mm-hmm.
your life. It should be a part of everybody's life.
Yeah, I love that. Oh my gosh, you said so many things that I'm like cosign, cosign, cosign.
Yeah.
Because one of the things I really emphasize with my patients, to your point, is preparing them for motherhood, for the second
Mhm.
child. Because oftentimes what you're lifting the toddler and then you have the infant on you. That's just real life motherhood, right?
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
properly carrying the baby's accessories. Because I do believe in my heart, and I've said this to my patients, I do believe in my heart that a lot of the chronic pain things that I see on the other side, on the GYN side, are relating to dysfunction that occurred during pregnancy, that we either never prepared and toned our body to be able to carry this load. Like if you think about, you're carrying a 1.5 packs of flour on your
Mhm.
abdomen. Now you try to put a pack on your flour today and try and see how that feels. And we underestimate the load that is
Mhm.
placed on the body with pregnancy and all of the physical changes. And so
Yeah.
Mhm.
I have really, you guys have, people like y'all have changed my whole practice, because I'm
Mhm.
so focused on helping women be more functional and realize that if you're not strong, then yeah, that back pain that you're having may not be the epidural. I know everybody want to blame the epidural. It may
It
not
ain't
be
the
the
epidural.
epidural. It may be the overreaching. And Dr. Tracy, you brought this to my attention, the overreaching and not being ergonomic in our breastfeeding and things like that that really affect our structure and our ability to function from day to day. I love that you guys say that. Dr. Tracy, some people feel working out means I'm gonna just go walk and do some cardio on the treadmill. How are we underestimating muscle strengthening? And
Yes.
should that be a priority and why? Y'all let me know.
Yes. Cardio is necessary. Cardio is good. We know that cardio is going to be good for the heart, but you also need to make sure that you are getting good muscle strengthening. So for a muscle to work at its best, it has to be at its longest. It has to be able to get its full length. Then it has to be able to get its full contraction. Because if you have a muscle that's supposed to be this long and it's only this long, it can only shorten but this much. If it's this long, then yes, it'll give you that full contraction. So you want to make sure that you're balancing the stretching and the strengthening. And strengthening, unfortunately, people tend to go in with they want to go in for like this extremely heavy pounds, and it doesn't necessarily need to be that. Just like Kwana was saying, it's functional. You're looking at functional ways of moving, functional ways of doing things. You want to get your body engaged. You want to get the muscles engaged, because we were not created to be still. We are not created to sit for hours and hours watching TV, playing video games, none of that. We were created for movement. We were created to be active and mobile. And so you want to make sure that you are giving the muscles the opportunity to strengthen. So a lot of the times patients will be like, yeah, well, I've been walking and yeah, my knee still hurts. And I'm like, okay, good. So you've gotten a little bit of movement at the joint, but you need to strengthen the muscles. You need to target the muscles around the joint and make sure that they're each doing their own work. Like you can't just let the front of the front muscles, the quads, do all the work and the hamstrings don't do anything, because then now you have an off balance. You need to make sure that you are balancing and working all aspects of the body. Now, however you decide to do it, whether you're doing a breaking it up every other day or whatever the case may be, you do have people like Kwana that are going to give you good techniques and good prolonged training to do so. Physical therapy may be getting you past the injury point that you might have had, but it's a lifelong thing, and it's good to always address your function somehow. It's a fight I have with my dad the entire time, because he wants to do like two things and think, oh yeah, he always telling me, oh, my muscles are, I'm using my muscles in here. And I'm like,
listen, we all have our favorite muscles. We have our favorite muscles. I have mine. I will do a squat in a minute. I love squats. Okay. But you have me do upper body, you lost me. They are not my favorite muscles. And especially after having a frozen shoulder, it's a little bit of a struggle to get the upper body to work again. So I totally hear your dad, but I'm hearing what you ladies are saying. And one of the things that really blew my mind, was I was in this course one day and they were talking about just how I'm telling you, y'all industries have changed my entire practice. They were talking about just the connectivity between how we even stand and how we utilize our feet properly.
Oh yeah.
And how it's connected. Okay, y'all explain that. I'm gonna have y'all and how it's connected, that whole neck bone connected to my hip bone. And listen, we underestimate how all these things are connected.
Really,
I think really as clinicians, we totally are clueless about this stuff, because I didn't learn this in medicine. I learned this in my health coach sessions, not in medicine. So in medicine, we're chasing these back pain, doing x-rays and all this stuff. Ain't nobody looking at the feet and how people are standing. So explain this to us. Explain to our audience.
Go ahead. Yes. For some clinicians, for some practitioners, therapists and things, they will choose a top-down or bottom-up approach for when we're looking at posture. But if you're looking at that bottom-up approach, you're looking at the way that the feet are going to be structured. You're going to be looking at where you're putting your weight. Are you putting your weight on the outer borders of your foot or the inner borders of your foot? When you walk, when you step and land, where that force is, because there's going to be ground reaction force. Yes, we've taken it to the sciences, but as your heel lands, you're going to have a bit of a pressure of your heel on the ground, and the ground strikes right back and sends that pressure up. Now, depending on where there's the biggest issue, this is where you'll find you'll have a lot of the pain. If you're having good, fair enough stability around the ankle, then the pain may come more at the knee. If the stability around the knee is pretty well, it may come into the hip. If the stability at the hip is doing okay, it comes into the back, and it can continue to go throughout the chain. And so you have to make sure that you're not just treating everything singly. It's not just, okay, I want big pecs, so I'm gonna just work my pecs today. You got to make sure you balance it out. You got to make sure you work the back. Maybe you need to work your core. Maybe you need to work your abs, your lats, everything else, because you need to be balanced. You can't, you see the guys walking around and they like, their legs about this big, and I'm like,
yes,
no,
explain
bro.
that to
you can't
me.
do that. You can't do that.
A lot of that comes from not balancing out your workout. If you're increasing your pecs, you want to increase your trap. You want to work on your traps. You want to do opposing muscle so that you're evening out your form and stance. It's all about your posture. You know what I'm saying? So if you're in the gym and all you do is pulls, guess what? This is where you're gonna be, just like that. And if all you
contracting,
you're gonna be your body is you're basically setting into your frame when you're working out. I'm trained in in trigger point therapy, right? So what she was saying is so true. I have a lot of clients that when they come in here, I assess their squats, right? And I can see, oh, their heels are coming up off the ground. So no one's really getting complete usage of their feet because we always have shoes on. So I teach my clients grounding, and then I also make them use these, and we do trigger point therapy on the feet to make sure that they're getting contact with the full floor, because a lot of them have hip issues, and we do kettlebell work to work on the hip issues. We do a lot of stuff to work on the knees and the ankles, and all of this stuff like is something, like she said before, we don't know this. They don't tell you this. They make you think that's why honestly it's so sad, but a lot of African American people don't understand the importance of a trainer. They don't get it. They don't get it. They think, well, I know how to do it. I'll just go to the class with all my friends and we'll do the step class. Perfect. Do that. Because
but I love, Kawana, I love what you said, because we talked about on another episode, we talked about food being medicine, but a lot of people don't understand that fitness is medicine also. You know, a lot of those aches and pains that you have, maybe you're malpositioned. And explain to us, because both of you have alluded to opposing muscles. Why is it important that all muscle groups are equally worked out? Like, what happens if I work out one side and not the other? Like, am I more likely to fall? What happens? Like, what's the end result of not doing that properly?
You want to go ahead?
Go ahead, Juan.
So what I usually, that's just like trigger point therapy. I'll use that for an example. So when I went into class, they had us do one side of our body. And then she said, now your homework is to do the next side. And if you don't do your homework, I'll know, because you're going to come in here limping. And it wasn't a lie. Once you're rolling out, each muscle has a job to do. Some muscles are stabilizers, some are prime movers. And so each one of them has a job, but if they're not getting the work evenly, this one is getting more work. Well, then of course it's going to adapt to being the main. It's going to start being your stabilizer. It's going to be a whole lot of stuff. I get people that constantly in their neck, in their traps, they do everything here. Everything into their neck, but they never oppose that push or pull. They'll just only do pull-ups, right? So now I've increased all the musculature here in the rear, but these muscles here are weak because I didn't oppose them, so that I can balance out my body and work my body into a functional position and posture. So that's how I try to train my clients. I try to really let them know that, like, we're building a foundation of strength. We have to build a full foundation of strength. We're not going to train on top of injury. So if you have knee issues, I'm going to find ways to train you out of that injury first. We're going to do some trigger point therapy. We're going to do some stretching, some TFL stretching and hip flexor stretches to get you out of these awkward positions you've been in all week before we go into the workout, before we go into the muscle building part. You know what I mean? It's a foundation. We're building a solid foundation when you work both opposing muscles.
I love this.
One of the other things that happens is when you have one set of muscles that are being worked, or whether you're actively working out, or they're being worked because of the posture that you stay in. You have to think about it. Muscles have the responsibility of moving the joints, stabilizing and moving the joints. So if you keep activating only one portion of the muscle that affects the joint, you have to think about how that joint is going to change. And for a lot of people, especially places like with the shoulder joint, you tend to have a lot of that pec tightness and all these other things that are causing them to be there. You now start to have abnormality in the way that your shoulder moves, and you put yourself at risk for all these injuries like rotator cuff tears and sprains and dislocations of the shoulder and all these other things. Yes, these things can happen from traumatic causes, but there are a lot of people who are in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s that we see of patients, and they're coming in and saying, I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, my shoulder started hurting so bad I couldn't take it. And when they finally get an MRI, it's a bit of a rotator cuff injury. And they're like, but I didn't do anything. Yeah, you didn't actively do anything, but posturally, you spent all your time like this.
Yes.
It's impinged, it's closed down, it's stuck, it's just not in a good position to help it. So it's hard to do this and do that. Right? It's not good alignment. So the posture and the alignment at the joints is especially important. What's going to maintain it? It's going to be the muscles. So you have to be balanced.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. You guys, I'm telling you, y'all are changing some lives. Okay.
That's
and
about.
I love the fact that you both mentioned sort of like our daily lives and what, so a lot of us, especially for my profession, we do go in and out of offices, but for the most part, we spend a lot of time documenting. So we're sitting a lot of time, and a lot, people don't realize, even to counter the bad effects from your employment, whether you're someone who's sedentary and sitting a lot, and now post-pandemic, how many people are virtually working, sitting all these hours, besides the effect on your cardio system, just the effect on the misuse of certain muscle groups is going to result
from phone. I mean, from the television and the screen,
all of that
itself too.
Yes. We forget about these things, and and it's so important to even be more proactive, because we have to counter these bad effects of our day-to-day lives. As a population, we're becoming way more sedentary because the kids are on the games, the parents are on their phones, and so people are just not moving in general, and you're having all these musculoskeletal issues that, like you said, are atraumatic events, but people don't realize how our day-to-day really impact our muscles and how we use our muscles. One of the things that happens is I love the growth of our sisters who are fitness coaches. Okay, I am here for it 24/7. I'm following y'all, and I'm like, yes. And what I love also is the confidence that you ladies are exuding, because you are giving us encouragement that even though we don't look like that stick figures, and that's okay, and now reshaping our vision and our goals for ourselves. And while you're fighting your own biases that you encounter in your field, or as a result of who you are in your field, I love that confidence, and I'm here for it. How do you then utilize that confidence that you have obtained and that work that you've done on yourself? How do you then turn around and help someone who is full figured and feels like, I'm working 24/7? Because we had our midwife on the platform once, we were talking about weight, and she shared with us that she works 24/7, and she's always been a thick girl, and she has done everything she could, and she just doesn't lose the weight, and that's been a lifelong struggle for her. So she's not the only one. There are many sisters who feel like that. Like, how do you talk to us? What do you tell us?
I feel like they just haven't met the right trainer. They haven't met the right person to make them understand how imperative it is to look at all aspects of your life when it comes to training. I look at, what are you watching? What are you listening to? Who are you surrounded by? And what are you eating? And then we do your measurements, all of that stuff. But a lot of the stuff that we carry is armor. The weight is armor. So you are holding on to weight because you're holding on to some stuff. You probably got some people you haven't apologized to. You got it's a lot of things that will stop you that will hinder your weight. It can be your medications. It's a lot of things. So we have to take a look at the overall person. So I make my new clients do a hair test. And once they do that hair test comes back and tells me all the foods that they're eating that are inflaming their bodies. So we start by weaning them off of those foods. Let's just start a month of you not eating all of the things that have a red circle on this page, right? Mm-hmm. And once we do that, we eliminate a lot of weight from that. And then we start talking about, okay, so when I meet up with the client, I first say, how you feeling today? And I will literally look in their eyes. And if they're like feeling flustered, oh, okay, so I guess we're meditating. Boom, we ain't working out. We about to meditate for 15 minutes and get you on a balance so that you can focus on you and get some breath, some life into your body and be present in this moment. Because the next 15 minutes, because our session's only gonna be 30 minutes, the next 15 minutes, I'm about to work you. Because usually I do 30-minute sessions and you get a lot of work in those 30-minute sessions. Mm-hmm. So, but we can't start without focusing on the interior and the exterior. So I tell my clients, you know, like, if once we start attacking those things, what food, once we know what you're eating, mm-hmm. now we know what you're watching, what's bringing cortisol into your body, what's stressing you, what's happening at work, what's happening with the kids. We got to get all of that in alignment. Once that's in alignment, it's what a thing called the click. The click, it happens. Your body starts to be like, whoop, okay, I get it. You move now. You move 3 days a week. I have to make these muscles work. Oh, okay. So you're eating new food. I have to pull the protein in now and start utilizing that protein to build more muscle. And oh, you're doing all of these things. Oh, you don't watch that anymore. Huh? So now I'm not negative. What do I do now? One of my clients, he was like, I don't even know what to do with myself. I need to start walking. You know, like it makes you want to be more active because you took away all the things that were weighing you down. The weight is a literal weight. It's weighing you down. It's your lifestyle that's weighing you down. And that's why I try to approach it as a full transformation. Don't think about, if you're here for weight, I'll get it off, but that's probably going to be the extent of our relationship. You know, I have friends that are full figured. I have my best friend. She's a great way for me to kind of see my progression in fitness, because when we first started was, you know, I was trying to tell her everything I did to lose weight, but then I realized, no, it's what she's eating, because she don't eat like me, and her lifestyle ain't like me. She's doing everything is happening. So she's now at a place to where she's found a foundation of fitness. She don't really need me to train no more. She knows what to eat. She knows when she's not eating right. You know what I'm saying? She has an overall outlook of who she is in the last 12 years. These are the patterns of eating. You now know, I can't do this anymore. I can't have these things anymore. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You have to restrict yourself. You have to tell yourself, this is a new me. I'm not the old me. You can't say I'm going to lose weight, but I'm still going to eat them corn muffins that I like. No. The new you don't do that no more. Right. So you have to eliminate those triggers and those things that old person had, so that you can see the transform you. You know,
oh my gosh. Yo, there's so much in this, so much I want to tap on too. Yeah. I mean, you are so right about that reset that happens, because I will tell you, for some of my women, they come to me unhealthy lifestyles, and all they do is a simple change, like sometimes just 1 or 2 changes, and they're like, oh, Dr. Moore, I'm losing weight. I know I'm not supposed to lose. It's okay. Your body's resetting. It's showing you, this is who I am. This is what I respond to. And so I'm gonna drop some weight real quickly, and then I'm gonna stabilize.
Just to show you I'm with you.
Right. Like, I got you. Like, we be good. So I truly love that. And I love, because sometimes I do get patients that say, you know, I'm eating well, I'm walking all the time, but nothing's happening, nothing's releasing. And we do go through, how much are you sleeping? How much water are you drinking? Mm-hmm. What is, on a scale of 1 to 10, on a scale of 0 to 10, sorry, how stressful is your life? So you are so let me tell you, I'm so here for it. And it does make a difference when you look at, because a lot of people feel, because a lot of the weight industry, the marketing, so to speak, has been focused on just exercising and just dealing with what you eat. And there's been so much told to us about how we eat and what we don't eat. that we don't do the homework, number one, to understand that we're all individuals. So I may be able to have that one thing that you can't have. You know, I may be able to
exactly. We're all different.
We're all so different. There is no, so I always tell my patients, like, you tell me what's working and what's not working. I don't create the program for you, because I'm not a fitness coach and I'm not a registered dietitian. So I take input from my patients as they become self-aware as to what they're seeing is working for themselves. So I want to take away, I want people to know who's watching this is it's more than food and exercise. This holistic approach is where it's at. And if your coach is not doing this, call Kawana. She does virtual. Okay.
I always tell people I have this triangle, and this is not something that I created, but it's something I learned over the years. And in the triangle, if you section it off in threes, you got exercise, which is the smallest triangle. The center is going to be your nutrition, which is pretty big. And the biggest is the center is your regeneration, and the bottom is your nutrition. So with all of those things if those are all in alignment, we get wellness. You know what I'm saying? Because now I'm in a place to where I'm eating, I'm sleeping, I'm dealing with my issues, I'm meditating, I'm taking time to breathe. I'm not tension, cortisol, always upset. You know what I'm saying? Like, once you start putting all that stuff in alignment, a lot of things won't even start to bother you. You'll start letting a lot of stuff roll off your back. You know what I mean? Because you get into a position to where it's like, oh no, like, I get my happiness from hiking. I get my happiness from being in the sun and being around people that make me laugh. You know what I mean? That's where I get it from. I don't get it from food anymore. You know, you've transformed now. It's somebody new.
I love it. I love it. And it motivates you, right? Like, when you start to see the results of it, that is your motivation to continue on that path. And I love that you said, like, the initial start, we may not be working on your core quite yet. We may be working on your core, but not your core muscle.
Yeah, we ain't snatching the belly just right yet.
Right.
Like, we still got some issues to deal with to snatch that belly.
Right. And having that patience to be on this journey and being committed to this journey. And it's not going to be overnight. For a lot of us, it's not going to be overnight. It is a complete journey. But I tell you, when you go through this process, it literally changes your life. And for those of us who are overwhelmed with our schedule, Kawana, how do we realistically put fitness in there? Because that I tell you, I've had to be unique with how I add fitness to my day. And last night I figured out another way. I was like, "Ooh, while I'm editing, I could be on the treadmill, because I only need to stop every now and then to edit a part that I want to take out." Listen,
well, this is not true.
Let me tell you, my friends, I'm in a core group who are keeping me accountable, because I was like, y'all, I be focused. I'm such a work focused. I'm a task oriented person. Hence my name. My parents didn't know why they call me task because I am task oriented. They did it. Okay.
I love that.
They did it. Okay. So I know this about myself. I'm task oriented. I'm motivated by Janet Jackson's songs. If I dance out to Janet Jackson, I feel good. However, I struggle with putting the priority of the exercise in and trying to figure out, okay, how does this work? When do I figure it out? And so I'm now in this process of, oh, I could do it while I'm doing that. Oh, I could do it while I'm doing that. It may not be perfect, but it's working for me right now. And so last night I literally messaged them at, like, I think it was like 1:00 my time. And I was like, I'm editing, but I'm working out.
I love it.
Listen, it's these small steps, and I have learned to celebrate these milestones, anything that leads you into that direction. But how do you help people like myself who are task oriented and just can't seem to figure out how to fit in this work? What do we do?
I always say, okay, there's 24 hours in a day, right? Yeah, right.
And for a lot of us, we want 36.
Yeah. Right. So there's 24 hours in a day, and then you have what's called people that are a part of the 5 a.m. club. And then you got people that are a part of the 7 a.m. club. Okay. So I encourage people to become a member of the 5 a.m. club so that you can do a little bit more focused time on yourself. So if we can't, like a lot of the CEOs, if they can't periodize the day, that's another way. What you're doing is called like periodization. So I could say you get 15 minutes of lunch, right? So, okay, we're going to give you 15 minutes of walking at your lunch break. You're going to go from here to here. That's 1 mile. Okay. And then an hour later, I'll give you, 3 hours later or 4 hours later, if you can get 15 minutes to just sit in a place for, to breathe, just breathe and focus on your breath and focus on your moment where you're at, right? So now we got 30 minutes right there. Okay, so the next day, if we can't do periodization, if I can't get you up in the morning, I'm gonna say, okay, how about you around lunchtime, you again walk and do 2 miles. We just keep adding to it. You have to find the time in the day. So there's always time. Believe me.
How do you address that? I love those tips because they seem so practical. I know that my moms had the new moms, I just gave birth and I may have a toddler, I may have a preschooler. Like, how does the mom do it from the mom? Because you're also a mom and you described that experience. How does a mom do it?
So that made me excited because I have this game that I came up with, which I think, please don't steal my idea, people. Okay, this is my idea.
Don't steal it because this is gonna be time stamped.
This is a patent right here.
Yes.
But when I have new moms, I have this thing called baby trainer because this is something that I had to do with my kids. So we watch an hour of cartoons or whatever channel they want to watch, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you have a 5 to 6 to 8-year-olds, these is really good. So then at that time, every time a commercial comes, we have these little cards. The cards say jump, run, dance, step, punch, whatever you put on those cards. They become the trainer for 2.5 minutes because in between every commercial, everything is a 2.5 minute span, right?
Mm-hmm.
You do that for over an hour, you're working with 20 to 30 minutes of workout. So I get them. So the baby and the kids, they go crazy off of it because they know, a lot of the moms, I let them bring the kids to the sessions too, if they have to. You know what I'm saying? So I'm already like, all right, you the trainer, tell mommy 5 more, 6 more, 5, so they get involved in it. And so that's another way to have them see you doing something that, that's for yourself. Mm-hmm. And they know how important it is because it's a task-oriented thing. You're high-fiving with the kid. It's a moment for them. And it becomes the time where they're like, mommy, it's baby trainer time. Because when they come in, I'll be like, did mommy train? And they be like, nope. Like, they will tell every time.
They will tell your whole business.
Tell all your business. And the baby can't tell. But when I have newborns, I'll be like, okay, take a picture of, let me see at least a few times of you doing this with the baby. Yeah. That's a workout.
Yes.
Now hold that baby and squat it down. If you got time to hold this baby, put the baby to sleep. Let's get 10 minutes of this.
Yes.
The baby.
And babies love movement. So all that movement, they are for it.
There's always time. There's always time to take care of yourself. You just got to make it. You have to make it. You have to know that you're that important to give yourself at least an hour or 30 minutes out of 24 hours.
I love it. And I love the fact that doing it like that raises another generation that now you have modeled for them.
Yes.
And so now they know health is not just important, but it's our routine, right? Yes. When something becomes a routine, it's easier for someone else to carry on and to do it because it's kind of like everyday work. It's just like you brush your teeth every day. Well, hopefully y'all brushing your teeth every day. But during the pandemic, we had some hygiene changes. So I'll just try to keep up with what's supposed to be done. But then it becomes their routine and they don't even have to think of it as a to-do. It just becomes a natural thing for them.
Exactly.
So I love that approach. And y'all don't take her idea, but when you are done producing that, let me know because my moms would love something like that because that's basically what I tell them to do is to utilize that bonding time as exercise and fitness time. And so I love, and when I see moms do it, I mean, their kids love it because they feel like they're getting the attention from their mom. They're really trying, they're proactive about it. It's a beautiful bonding experience.
It's a beautiful bonding experience. And to me, like, I was able to, like, I raised my kids And all the time, like I said, I felt like I was being selfish, but like my daughter works out all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, and she's got good form. Like she works out with me. She knows what to do. She posts herself. Her friends are like, "Can you train me?" She's like, "I'm not a trainer, but I was raised by a trainer." You know what I'm saying? But
I love
it's and also involving them in the production of the food. I was like, make that fun for them. They have to understand it. So when you go to the grocery store, I tell them stay in the outside aisles. Make sure that you make the kids get all the colors of the rainbow. You're gonna make every food. We're gonna try some new stuff today. We're gonna do red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, but you got to get every vegetable that you can find in those colors. And we're gonna figure out what to make with it. It might be nasty, but we're doing this together as a family, and we're experimenting and we're growing together to see, you know, new ways of fitness without it being, well, I can't eat that. You know, my mommy doesn't give me that. Like, it's different to them. It's like, oh, I've never had that before. You know, it's an experience for them, you know, and it's a bonding experience for them to be a part of your fitness journey completely. You'll never have to worry about a child that has to deal with those issues when they watched you deal with yours.
I love it. I love that you brought that point up because y'all, I've been watching these social media trends, and some of y'all are posting these videos, and they are adorable because the kids are adorable. But these videos where the kids, where you're allowing the kids to go into the grocery store and put whatever they want, the toddlers, and put whatever one in the cart. I'm watching what the toddlers are putting in the cart because it's telling us what they are accustomed to eating. So when I see your cart filled with nothing but chips and
cereal, it drives me nuts.
Because I've seen these videos on Instagram, and I'm watching what these toddlers put in. It is telling what they're experiencing and what they're exposed to. So I love, you know, rechanging their mindset even now and making a game out of them, adding color to the cart, because we know the more colorful our foods, the more healthier we are. Like, people don't understand, healthy food makes you feel better. Like, you have more energy to do stuff. You're more productive.
Gives you life.
Like, your fatigue can be corrected with these things. Okay. And your endurance can be corrected with your food and your exercise. Like, a lot of things that you're looking for, you don't need medication for. You just need to change your way of life. That's really what we're saying. And what I love that Kawana mentioned earlier, we're gonna roll back the tape. She mentioned that she started her fitness workout in her 40s. Okay. So no excuses. No excuses.
I'm 40. I just turned 48 last week, and
thank
you. Happy belated.
Thank you.
You is what you said?
I am 48.
40 what?
I is 48.
Okay.
Look at that skin.
I know.
I is 48. And but you know what? I this year was a little different for me as far as birthday was concerned. And I start to think about what that is. I think, you know, we do, as women, we get these perceptions of who we would be at a certain time, you know. And I think with me, I try to do so much for the people around me, and I try to provide so much value that sometimes I forget my value. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, this year I really did forget my value, but I wanted everybody else to get it, and they ain't get it. So I was like, what I realized is we are the conductors and the authors of our own lives. And so if I want people to see me in a different light, I have to present that too. You know what I'm saying? So I'm starting to learn more about how I present myself to clients and friends and stuff like that, age-wise, because I used to think that 48 was going to be a whole different, I thought it was old. And now to feel the way I feel at 48, I still feel at 25. I don't feel no different than I did when I was 25.
Yeah, that's amazing. I feel different, but I haven't done the work she's
done. Of course.
I haven't done the work that you've done, though. I want to feel like how you feel.
Yeah, I feel like I can now. I don't know if I can, but in my head, I'm like, shoot, I could get out there with the youngins and do it. But, you know.
That's how I got my ankle sprained, y'all. That's how my ankle sprained. I was up in New Edition concert, and I thought I was 20 in my head, but my body's really 40. And
much more sedentary.
And way more sedentary, because we were doing step dance in college, and I haven't step danced in a long time. So, so you're right, but I want to get like that. I want to be able to feel like my body's like, And
Like,
we
I think I
feeling
could do
we
this.
challenging these 20-year-olds in these
Yes.
streets. That's what it's about. And let me tell you, I have some family members that are like the where I'm like, okay, how do I get like that at 70? Because that's where I want to be. Yes, that's where I want to be. Fit like a queen.
Have you seen that older lady? I don't know if you've been on my
Yes,
social.
the bodybuilder. She's like, is she in her 80s yet?
Not her. I'm just talking
Oh,
about
this is
fight
another one.
scene. This is
Oh,
another lady. She's on my page now. If you get a chance to go to my story, I think she gotta be like 70 or 80, but her conversation, girl, she is so funny. She talks, she gotta be almost 80. Her conversation is like, huh, girl, he want me. What? Like, she's like a sassy old woman. I was like, that's totally gonna be me.
I'm here for it.
Oh, you gotta see this woman. She's so funny. But
I am definitely gonna check it out. Oh my gosh, it has been so
hilarious.
good. I have so much more to talk about on this topic. I'm gonna have to have Kawana back because listen, y'all understand, like talking to the two of you and people like y'all have literally changed my practice. And by changing my practice, you're allowing me to change lives because I'm rethinking pain. I'm rethinking like a lot of the pain that I'm encountering that I would have otherwise done MRIs, ultrasounds, and things like that. I am first now so mindful of people's posture, their position, their work day, what they're doing at home with the kids, that we have been able, and I'm so quick to refer to y'all. I'm so quick to refer to y'all that I am, in fact, just yesterday I was having a conversation with a patient where I was like, we need to find you a good fitness coach, and I'm sending you to physical therapy to correct the dysfunction, and then we go work on correcting how you do it as a permanence, right? So I literally was having this conversation just yesterday. I'm not even kidding. This is now my new practice. And so it's literally changing their lives because it makes sense to them because they're able to connect how they function from a day to day. And now they feel empowered. And that's why she says she empower folks, because now you see how it works, right? Now they feel empowered that it's something that they have the power to change. That they don't have to rely on folks like me to write a prescription or to write some type of or to perform some type of surgical procedure. They have the ability to make the changes that they need. And I love that you mentioned also that you may not necessarily feel like you're the most anxious person, depressed person, but your body may be reflecting all that stuff that you have not dealt with. So if you are working out and you are not seeing the changes in your body, we got some other work to do because the body will tell your business, okay? They be like, that's what she said. She ain't anxious and she ain't depressed. Right. But we all inflamed up in here, okay?
I'm doing all these push-ups you're doing, but ain't ate since yesterday. You know, we like, come on, ain't had a vegetable in 2 years. Like, come on.
So she could say what she want to say to y'all, but our experience internally, we inflamed. Okay?
Exactly. We tripping in here and she tripping out there. It happened.
I love it. Kawana, where can they find you to find out more and just change their lives? Where can they find you?
They can find me on trapbootcamp.com. You can find me. I still go by my old rapper name, Oracle Jane Doe. So it's still on there. So you can find me on there. If you type in Oracle Jane Doe, it'll pop up JAYNE. It'll pop up like my business, all my information. I'm very transparent. You can see a lot of my transformation. You know, I did post a lot of my transformation, and I'm eventually, like, now I wrote my book, but I keep adding to it every year. So I'm going to really work on getting it finished. I need to get a literary editor. So if there's any of y'all out there looking for somebody to help,
I'll find you. I got you.
I need some help with that. But yeah, you can find me online under Oracle JD or Trap Bootcamp.
Love it. Yes. I love it. Listen, y'all, and she be like 5 o'clock in the morning. Y'all know I'm not a morning person, but she be like 5 o'clock. I don't even know what time you be posting. All I know, when I get up, she be lifting them kettlebells, and I be like, girl, I haven't even stepped out my bed yet.
Girl, I am a fond member of the 5 a.m. club. If I don't get out that bed, I'm still up and looking around and moving, hopping in my ice bath before, like I am
Listen,
I'm
I'm here
really
for
on
it.
it.
She is her word. Trust me.
Yeah.
I be getting my alerts like, oh, okay, there we go. Okay, this is what we're doing today. Trust me, she is her word. Okay.
Yes,
And Dr. the other Dr. T, Dr. Trissa, where can they find you? You notice people are dropping dreams today. This is a dream day. There must be something about today. People have been dropping dreams with us all day today.
Yep.
Yeah. Where can they find you, Dr. Trissa?
TrissaJob.dpt on Instagram.
I love it. And I am Dr. T, as always, the hand behind the handle of Healthy Bump Club. Always a joy to have you join us, and make sure you check out our links to check out our other videos. And also, don't forget to share. You see that arrow that goes that way? That is your icon to share, comments, because we want to know what has your journey been like. Share with us. If you want to hit up, come on up, hit me up. I'll connect you. And she gave you her info. Okay. Don't lose that information. Change your life. Okay. And then also don't forget to share this video and like this video. This is how we get in front of the social media crowd, of the virtual crowd, so people get this key information. We want our sisters to know that we exist and this is what we do. And as always, when you're done with YouTube, hop over to Instagram, where you'll find us also at healthybump.club. And that's where you will find our brief videos. We give all these educational tips you do not want to miss out. And then when you're done with that, head over and purchase our apparel. We love our village. Our village is exactly why we're still existing today. We love your support, even for those who may not be pregnancy ready, but are all about our mission to change the lives of women. Go ahead, purchase yourself a top, be a part of the village, because you already are anyway. We love you guys for watching, and we'll see y'all when next episode.